Hey guys, this is Donna with Donna's Creative Space. I am here to do a live virtual class. This is my March virtual class. I have been doing a card class to go the first half of the month, and I'm trying to either do a virtual class the second half of the month or I do a shopping special, which both of those things, both my card class to go and my virtual class are shopping specials, because basically you're getting free product, well, free kits from me. My first half of the month, my card class to go, you get a kit to make 8 cards. There are written instructions and a video also. That's the first part of the month. The second part of the month, which is this part now, the second half of March, the 18th to 31st, if you shop with me, you can get a make and take pack, which is basically a set of cards to make these 4 cards that I'm going to make right here tonight. So if you have this stamp set, this flowering rain boots, you can go ahead and make these on your own if you have all the supplies. If you feel like placing an order with me at donnasingleton.stampinup.net, you can get, I will be sending these out at the end of the promotion period, which will be right at the beginning of April, because this goes through March 31st, and I got to give everybody enough time to shop. And then I will be placing these little packets out in the mail. So you will get whatever I can pre-cut, I will cut for you. I tie some bows, some you'll have to do on your own. But these are the 4 kits that you're going to get this month if you place an order with me. The order has to use my host code MJSWP3E2. This goes until the end of the month. So you have, what, a couple of weeks? I think it's today's the 20th. If you're watching this now, it is Sunday night. Let's see, just after 7:15. And March 20th, 2022. So this, if you're watching this after the 31st of March, 2022, this special is no longer going on, but feel free to make these cards. All right, so tonight I am going to make these 4 cards. Like I said, I'm using this Flowering Rain Boots kit. I'm also, because I wanted to do a couple of other type of sentiments, I'm also bringing in the Celebrating You just for a couple sentiments. Because I wanted to offer a Mother's Day card and an Easter card. So I have 2 of these. This Easter one and the Mother's Day one aren't using the sentiments from the Flowering Rain Boots. If you don't have this, you get these kits, you can go ahead and fit whatever you can into the shapes that I give you. All right, now this Flowering Rain Boots does come with it comes in you can buy it in a bundle and get the dies, which are called Rain Boots dies. You can get the 2 of them together and get 10% off. But for what I've done tonight, I'm going to show you that you can use a pair of scissors. But some people like to get the die also. I may use a die here and there, but I may just try to do it all with scissors, just so that I can show those of you that don't like buying the dies, or maybe you don't have a a cut and emboss machine. But I have my little mini right next to me, so I could pull this out and use it during the video for one of these. I might. It depends on how tired I get cutting. But this happens to be on sale this month, so if you are looking for a cute little machine, this is great. It's mini, but it is mighty, and it's 20% off just through the March. Okay, so all that said, these are the cards we're going to make. I am going to, let's start with this one first. All right, I've got all different colors of ink, but when you get your kit, you can just use whatever ink you have. So for this one, I'm using, in case you want to make the exact same one, because I won't be doing these make and takes, these quick virtual classes. Well, I say quick, but it'll probably be a good 40 minutes. But these, and this is going to be uploaded to YouTube also, so whether you're watching on Facebook or watching on YouTube, thank you for joining me. And and sit back and we'll have some fun tonight. So I'm using Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green. I'm using Fresh Freesia and Memento for this card here. Now as I go, I'll give you the measurements because like I said, this won't have written instructions. And let me see where I put I just had them. Oh, they're right under here. Silly me. All right, so I'm going to pull this one out, and what you're going to see here is exactly how I ship them to you. You'll get exactly this in your pack. I may have a couple extra pieces here, so I may go ahead and give you, like this one here, I gave you, I put 2 in here. Oh, I have ink all over my finger. Hang on a sec, because that's going to bug me. I don't know about you, but stuff like that. Let me clean that off. Okay. All right, so this is what's going to be in the pack. You'll have your bow. You'll have your Fresh Freesia card base. You'll have an envelope. You'll have a white inside mat. Then the DSP. And this is a really pretty Fresh Freesia. This is from that Celebration paper. I just absolutely loved it. And it goes so nicely with this that I'm using it again. But you don't have to worry that it's retired because I am supplying it to you. So this is a Daffodil mat. And I will give you the measurements as we go. Now these little ovals I punched out with my oval punch, which I will show you. It is called the Duo. Hang on, double. There it is, the double oval punch. It's really cool because you have the straight edge oval and then you'll have a scalloped oval. I did not use the scalloped oval tonight. I just used the smaller one. And like I said, I'm using, let me move some stuff around. I'm using the, which one do I want? This basket. And I want Winkestella. All right. So, oops, that's for another one. I don't know where that came out of. All right, so now for this card, I am using the Holiday Rhinestones because I like the yellow in here. Oh, I forgot to tell you, if you're shopping with me and your order is over $35 in product, you'll get this kit, these 4 cards, these kits to make these 4 cards for free. But if your order is $50 or more, I'm going to include these pretty Rhinestone Waves Basic Jewels. Let me see if I can hold them up and see if you can actually see the colors. They're absolutely gorgeous. It goes from dark blue, then it's a little bit lighter, then it's kind of a pale turquoise, and then this light greenish, and then another like a little darker turquoise. But they're really pretty, and they're probably Stampin' Up color names, but that's what I'm looking at, and that's what they look like to me. So if your order is, you'll get, in addition to the card kit, you'll also get the Rhinestone Waves if your order is over $50. Now, if your order is $150 or more, do not use my code. You will automatically be the hostess, and you can get your own, you can collect the rewards. You'll still get the card kit, and I'll still send you the Rhinestone Waves. All right, order just has to use the host code and be between the 18th and the 31st. All right, so let's get some stamping done. I think I already lost. Did I already lose? Oh, no, here they are, my little ovals. All right, now I've got a bunch of stamps off to my side, so I'm going to leave them there so they're not in this general area. I'm going to pull out my Stampin Pierce Mat so that I can stamp on this. And the reason I'm using this is that we're using these are photopolymer stamps. So they're thin stamps, so that they're great because they're clear and you can see where you're stamping. But you do need a little bit of cushion. They're not like our red rubber ones that have cushion built in. See that? I don't know if you can see that too. So when you're using photopolymer, you should have something underneath. It could be a foam pad. It could be, this is what we call our Stampin Pierce Mat. I use the back side when I'm piercing, so you can see all the holes on this side. But I use this side for stamping. All right. So let's start with my sentiment. And I have to make sure I have everything out. So like I said, this Happy Easter is from the Celebrate You stamp set. I'm going to be using the Happy Easter on one card and the Happy Mother's Day on the other. I just thought I wanted to have more sentiments than this, the Flowering Rain Boots. The sentiments are beautiful, and I did use the Rain or Shine one, and I did use the Live Life in Full Bloom. But I just decided I wanted to have an Easter card and a Mother's Day card. I thought it was more practical for me. All right, so I'm going to start by stamping my sentiment in this, the Memento Black. Now, sometimes it's hard to see the shape of what you're stamping on with the same color paper right behind it. So if you have something different to slip behind it, it could be like, here's my silicone mat. I'll just use that for tonight. And that also helps from from sliding around. But see how now I can see the edge when I look down into this? So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to ink up my Happy Easter stamp and go straight up, straight down. All right, so the sentiment's done, and I'm done with my Memento. Can put that aside. Now, on this long piece here, so that was the oval punch, the dual oval punch. If you are not getting my kit for free, then you will want to find an oval. If you're using the same, I'll just give you measurements just in case you're looking for something in your stash that you have. And it's about 1 3/4 inches long by 7/8 wide. And hopefully I will remember to give you all the measurements. So this first white piece, speaking of that, is, oops, this white piece that we're going to stamp our image on is 2 3/4 by 4.5. All right, and we're going to start with the boots. I love this set. It's really fun. So I'm going to stamp the boots very close to the bottom of this. That's just an extra one. I'm going to stamp the boots very close to the bottom of this strip, and kind of centered. The toes are going to be a little bit closer to the right, but I'm kind of taking the center of the boots right down the middle. So I'm going to ink it up and put it right so that the boots are almost to the bottom of the sheet, just about there. So we want to fit everything on here. Isn't that cool? Look at, I love these boots. I love these boots. And let me just take a minute to ink. I gotta spray my scrubber that I have off to the side, because I know I'm going to use some of these stamps twice. So I'm just going to put them over there. Now we're going to stamp some green leaves and stems into those boots. Now it doesn't get exactly perfect, but that doesn't matter because we're going to put this bow right in. Oh, let me get some of this stuff out of the way. Hang on a sec. You saw that stamp. You saw the rhinestones that you're going to get for free. Oops. Okay, that's better. Is that better, everybody? Now I can move around and work. All right. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to use Granny Apple Green for the stems and leaves. And it kind of has a cutoff. It's kind of like a flat edge. And you'll see, and I'm going to do a trick with this in another card. I'll show you how I only used part of this stamp. But for this one, we're going to go straight into the boots. And I'm going to go down as far as this little white strip that's in the center of the boot. So let me see if I can move this up a little. Get everything out of the way. I've got so many ink pads out. All right, and I'm going to put this right down into the boots. Just like that. Stamp and up. Beautiful. But it's great because it's set up perfectly so it fits inside the boots. And you can see a little bit, like, see through the boots, but that doesn't matter because sometimes you can see stuff like that through things. If you had, you can see between the leaves and stuff. So now these are the flowers. And the flowers we are going to use Daffodil. Daffodil Delight. And I was using this earlier, so I hope it's going to be dark enough. So I'm going to practice. I have a piece of scrap paper here. Oh yes, it's dark enough. I was using it a lot for, I was designing some other cards, and I used it a lot, so I was afraid it was kind of needing to be inked up, but I think I'm going to be able to get through. So I'm going to line this up as close as possible to the tops of the stems and just go straight down, leave it for a sec, and then straight up. I like to leave it for a sec just so that the ink has a chance to seep into the paper. Okay, so that's done, that's done. All right, so I believe, oh, I was going to say all our stamping's done since we have our sentiment, but we don't. We want to stamp the inside. And all I did was I just put a little bit, this little flower stamp right in the corner. So that I'm inking that up in the yellow also. And just doing that just down in the corner. Let me see if I'm in the image area. Just like that. Okay? All right. So all our stamping is done. And we can assemble now. So we're going to take our Fresh Freesia card base. Now this is 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to use my bone folder to crease I put the score line in there for you, but you just want to be able to crease it yourself with a bone folder. And we're going to go ahead and put that in the inside. This is a pretty fast card. It looks like you spent a lot of time on it because the stamps did all the work for you. Oops. Let me get that a little straighter, Donna. All right, now this is going to get mounted. We're going to layer this onto a piece of daffodil. Now the daffodil is 3 inches by 3 by 4 3/4. And that's going to get layered right on here. Just like that. So that I'm centering it, so there's about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And then we're going to put this up on dimensionals. Let me grab, ooh, a new pack of dimensionals, a new sheet. I love getting a new sheet of dimensionals. Now this is a fairly large piece of cardstock, layered cardstock that we want to, so we want to put a few different, a few dimensionals. Now let me grab my take your pick tool. You'll see me go back and forth between my fingernails and this. Just depends on what I'm in the mood to do. Because it does get them all. You can only get about 5 or so on you. I tend to get to 5 and then it wants me to clear it off. All right, so this is going to, oh, you know what I almost forgot is our designer series paper. So this designer series paper, like I said, this is retired. But I absolutely love it. It goes so nice. It's a perfect background for cards. So I'm going to put this centered. And this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. Now we're going to layer this right on top. Just centered. Just like that. Right. Now our Happy Easter is also going to go up on dimensionals. Hi, Susan. How are you? Oops. I'm going to put a couple dimensionals on the back of this. Thanks for joining me tonight. Might be a long one because this is my virtual class. But it's going to be recorded so you can always come back if you can't stay. So I'm going to put this right kind of going across the boots, but also along the edge here. Just like that. And then I'm going to get a glue dot and put the glue dot on the back of this bow. Now I made this bow. This I love. This is our Daffodil Delight Crinkle ribbon. It is retired. I'm sorry. That's why I'm providing it to you. That's why I'm giving you it in your kit. But it's so, I love it. I just love it because it's such a pretty ribbon, and it's kind of has this papery texture to it. So it ties nicely into a bow. And I did all my bows ahead of time. All my bows. Actually, I think this is the only one, now that I think of it. The other ones you're going to have to tie yourself when you get your kit. Okay, so I just gave the ribbon a trim. And like I said, I used the yellow holiday, where's my take your pick tool? The yellow, these are the holiday rhinestones. And I thought the yellows worked pretty good with this. So I'm using my take your pick tool to pick it up and just put a couple. I like to do 3. Odd numbers are good. And there is our first card. Nice and quick, right? And look, doesn't it look like you, oh, I forgot I wanted to do Wink of Stella. You could do Wink of Stella on anything you want. I'm just going to do it on the yellow blossoms. And you don't want to rub too hard. This is a paintbrush. If you're not familiar with it, it gives out a little bit of glitter. It is, I'm sorry, but it is hard to see on the video. But I will hold it up closer to the camera. And I'll tilt it at an angle, so hopefully you'll be able to see the glitter. And it does take a second to dry. It's not as quickly, doesn't dry as quickly as our ink. But this Wink of Stella pen is just wonderful. It just gives out, I don't know if you'll see it on my finger. Not really. I'll hold up the card. It just kind of gives this little bit of a glitter effect, but it's not like glitter like pieces of glitter. It's just, I don't know. Let me see. I'm trying to look at my computer and see if I get it at an angle, at a good angle. Maybe right there. Let's see if I stay there. Sometimes it looks great to me. I can see this. You really can't. I guess it's not very good, but take it from me. It's shiny and glittery and really pretty. So that's our first card all done. Right? And this was that, oh, I told you already. This was the Daffodil ribbon. So that is done. And we have we have one of these rhinestones that went rogue. So let me get that back on there. All right. Done and done. All right. First one done. Now, let's do another that is, this one's pretty too. We're using the boots again. So I'm going to pull those out, but we're switching colors. So we're not using the Fresh Freesia anymore. Now this is Highland Heather. All right. So my kit is here. All right. So everything's going to be cut out for you. Now I've already cut. I've given you a ribbon too. And we're going to use the Sharpie Technique. If you don't know what the Sharpie Technique is, go to my Donna's Creative Space YouTube channel. And I did a video maybe a week ago. And I called it the Sharpie Technique. So you should be able to find it. And it's really, it's a great technique for tying this little knot here. Let me lift this card up. See this knot? Isn't that cute little darling knot? The Sharpie Technique is for that. So let's go with there. And oh, you are going to get envelopes with your kit too. All right, so let's see. We want to mat this paper. Remember this? This is from the Valentine suite that we had. But it's perfect. The back side. What they call, you know how you had records and you had a, oh gosh, I'm dating myself by saying record. But remember records had like a B side? So the, oh, what did I do? I think this isn't cut right. Oh, I have to cut this down a little bit. Hang on. I think I just cut it the wrong size. I cut it. It's got to be 3 3/4. I could tell once I started to put that down. Don't worry, I haven't cut your kits yet, so. All right. I'm very gently doing it on my trimmer. Oh, at least I'm under the image area. Sorry, guys. I tried to put it on my trimmer without sticking it down too much. Let me do it up here so you can see. So I have to cut it down to 5. I just want to do it lightly. There. All right. Now, I want to tell you something that I tried doing the other day, and it worked really good. I have this alcohol, back from when we were doing the alcohol markers, and whenever you get something sticky, like on my trimmer here, this alcohol works great to take that stickiness off. You just wipe it, and it's kind of like, you know how you have that goo gone? But this is great because it removes the stickiness and then it evaporates. So you don't have to like, you know, that goo gone, it kind of like, I like it because it gets off labels and stuff. But then you end up having like this kind of greasy stuff left in its place. All right, so now, so this gorgeous grape mat that I'm putting the stripe on. This gorgeous scrape mat is 4 by 5 1/4. The stripe designer paper is 3 3/4 by 5. All right. Now don't put that on your card yet, because we have to do our Sharpie technique. Oops. And we have to do our Sharpie technique, and I will show you that in 1 second. Let's do that, and I'll show you. So this is my Sharpie technique. Like I said, there's a video out there I did. So you're going to tie, let me move the stuff so it's not underneath. You're going to tie the ribbon. Now we want this bow to be way off to the side, right off to the side. So I've given you about 10 inches in your kit. You're going to tie it towards one end. And I usually leave like 3 inches on the side about as I tie it. And then it, of course it shrinks down as you make a knot. I'm going to tie it the other way. So I've tied it twice. This is a double knot, right? Pull it tight. See, now it's stuck on my Sharpie. I'm just going to slide it off like that. And I have this little loop just like that. I'm going to take my card and I'm going to put this about halfway on this card. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on the 2 ends. And I'm going to wrap this along the front, right? And I'm going to put this little loop way off to the side here, just like that. And then this is going to come this way. And see, I've given you plenty of ribbon. And that's just going to wrap like that. See that? Oops, let me go a little bit higher on this end. Just like that. I'll show you the back in a sec. See that? And you can trim this down if you like, just so that you have less bulk in the back. If you want, you can put Scotch tape over these ends to secure it, but you don't need to, because you can if you want. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But now it can go on the front of our card, because you're going to go right over that ribbon with your seal or whatever adhesive you're using. If you were using liquid glue, I might do the Scotch tape just to hold the ribbon down. All right, and I'm going to put that right in place, just like that. All right, our base is done. So now we can do some stamping. All right, so the same, all my card bases tonight are the same. They're 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. All right, let's see. What did I do? On the inside, I did the same flowers, but I did the whole bunch of them. So let me get out my little Stampin Pierce Mat again. And I'm going to do the flowers first. Now, I'm using Highland Heather. For this card, I'm using Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. I'm just doing the sentiment in the darker ink. So, Highland Heather. And I'm just going to put the bunch of flowers. And this is a horizontal card, so I'm going to turn this inner mat on its side. And I'm just going to put the bunch just down the corner here, just to decorate the inside a little bit. All right, and while we have, so we're going to put that aside. And while we have the Highland Heather out, I'm going to take my circle and I'm going to pull back out my silicone mat so that I can have a dark background here. And I don't care if I get ink on this. It actually is, can just wash off. This is great for getting glue on it too. So I washed it off. Let me make sure I wash it. Not that fresh freesia is too different from this, but we want nice, pretty Highland Heather. I love purple things. Purple's my favorite color. So I'm just going to put these boots right down in the center of this. I'm just going to hold it there for a sec and lift it up. Look how pretty. I just love this stamp set. And then you will also have, oops, where did it go? I think I lost my little scrap. Oh, here it is. You will also have a scrap piece to do another, oh, I went and cleaned my flowers. You're going to do another set of flowers anywhere on here, because we're going to cut those out. You can cut them out, or you can use your your cut and emboss machine with the dies. I'll show you in a sec. See this die here? This cuts it out perfectly. I'm going to do it by hand just to show you that you can do things by hand. You don't always have to have the machine. So I'm going to, and this is just going to be rough cut. I wanted to make sure I don't use my ribbon scissors. Oh, you know what? let me just get the inking out of the way. And let's do our sentiment before we go any further. So I'm using the Gorgeous Grape now. And the sentiment, where is the sentiment? Here it is. So, oh, I didn't tell you that that ribbon that we just used is absolutely beautiful. This is the sheer ribbon. It is the Gorgeous Grape sheer ribbon. All right, so now this is the sentiment. It says, rain or shine, I'm here for you. So pretty. Now this is Gorgeous Grape. And, oh, gotta remember to tell you the size is 3/4 of an inch by 2 1/4. This circle is 2 7/8, I believe. Yes, 2 7/8 inch circle. All right. Let me ink this up again since I let it sit. And we're going to put this straight down. I'm doing it kind of at an angle. I hope I'm straight. Yeah, pretty good for doing it off the side. All right, now. Okay, so inking is all done. I'd like to get that done and put that out of the way. And let me, so all the stamping's done. I can get rid of that. All right, so this flower here, so you can cut these out with your Stampin' Cut Emboss machine or whatever embossing machine you have. If you have the dies that go along with it, the rain boot dies. But I'm just going to roughly cut this out myself just to show you that you can use scissors. You don't always have to have the dies. But if you're like me, I like to get the dies so that I have them. But I'm just going around the edge, and I'm not trying to go around the petals. I'm just kind of like, I don't know if you watched, but it was kind of like I go like this with the paper and the scissors, just to kind of get like a squiggly, so it's just not rounded. And I'm going to go in and take a little bit more here. All right, and now this is just going to be peeking out behind here. So I'm not going to even cut the bottom of those flowers. All right, so let's do this. Next thing, this is going to go, our sentiment that I already gave you the size of, this is going to go on a 1 inch by 2 1/2 inch piece of Gorgeous Grape. Just like that. All right, now, this here is going to go on our card. Well, let's put this on the inside. I'm going to put the inside, let's put the inside on the inside. Just like that. All right. And now this is a big circle. This is 2 7/8. And you're going to put this on with dimensionals. And since it's big, I'm using a few more dimensionals than you might. Normally on a circle you might put, depending on the size, you might put a few. But this one I put all the way around the edge because I didn't want my edges to be sagging. Let me see if I can get these all off without my take your pick tool. Oops. All right. In the trash. All right, so this is going to go over here right up against my loop. I haven't showed you yet what I'm going to do to that loop. Some of you probably know. Susan, if you're still here, you know. You've seen me do this trick. Okay, so let me cut this now before we forget. I'm going to take my ribbon scissors. I don't know about you. I have 2 pairs of scissors. These are our paper snips. They're like $10. And I have one that I cut everything with. You know, I cut glue dots in half. I cut cardstock, whatever. But these are just for ribbon. That way they stay unsticky and sharp. All right, so I'm going to see how we have that loop there? This is the other part of the Sharpie Technique, but you can go check out my video if you'd like. But you're going to put your scissors into the loop, right? I just kind of flattened a little, and you're going to cut at an angle. Hang on, it's a little slippery. You're going to cut at an angle, just like that. And look at that. It makes the perfect little knot. Isn't that cute? I just love that trick. That's my Sharpie technique. Now this is going to go over here, and I want to let the ribbon peek out below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some adhesive behind this portion, and then I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on this side. All right, so adhesive over here. All right, and then dimensionals, where'd they go? Then a couple of dimensionals over here. Now, if you have the dies, you could take, I'm going to give you this circle, but you could certainly cut out the boots if you'd like, if you have the die set. All right, so now I'm going to put this on here, and I want to make sure it's straight. So I'm going to have to pull it up towards myself for a second, just like that. Now, over here to this. Now, see how I didn't cut the bottom? And of course, that's not going to stick in there. All I did was just kind of cut straight across the bottom. Right, and I'll kind of audition it and see if I can get it in, if it's low enough. And that's exactly what I want. I just want it to be sticking out a little bit, and then I'll put some adhesive on it, and I'm just going to stick it under there. I want it behind the circle and kind of behind my sentiment too, just peeking out a little. I figured, you know, rain boots, rain or shine, the flowers. I just thought that was cute. Now, for an embellishment on these, I pulled out, these are Pastel Pearls, because they're pink, and there's like a lilac, and then these kind of frosty silvery ones, and then these dark grape ones. And what I used is I put I call it grape, I put a dark one over here, and then a dark one over here, and then a light purple right here, right? Because I like doing in threes. Right now, what I did with this is I have my Wink of Stella. I don't know if you can see it on here. Let me see if I tilt this around. But I did the Wink of Stella on the boots, just on the boots alone. I don't know. Maybe you can see it, maybe not. But I thought that was kind of cool. And I think my Wink of Stella is starting to run out. I do have another one I can open, but sometimes you just need to get it going. So I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper and kind of squeeze it. See how, don't do it over your project though. See how it comes down the barrel? It's just this little like liquidy stuff. So now I can kind of paint it. I don't want too much on my brush, so brush it off. Oh yeah, that's better now. And I'm just going to paint it. You can't rub too hard, but a gentle touch is better. And then when this will dry, it takes a little bit to dry. It's not as, doesn't dry as fast. I think I told you on the last card, it doesn't dry as fast as our ink. It's got this different type of solution in it, but I just love using. I think Wink of Stella is something you should have. It doesn't cost, I think they're like $8 maybe. But see that? I don't know. I'm hoping you guys can see the sparkle of it. Can you see the sparkle? Oh, I think you can. It's like rain boots. Okay, so those two cards, and I'm going to leave that one on top, so I'm going to set it off to the side, but I want it to dry. So I don't want to put anything on it. Put the envelope with it. All right, let me move that aside so I don't lean in that. Okay, now let's see. Let's make this one next. All right, I think I might pull out my mini, and I'm trying to decide, what did I use on the inside? I didn't do an inside. We're gonna have to figure out what we want to do on the inside. I think I should just keep going with this, and we'll do the flowers. So I'll pull the flowers out again. And we need that flower. I'll clean these flowers. So I have to show you how to get, see, we're only using half. Let me show you on the stamp. All right. Oops, wrong stamp. Those are the sentiments. See how it's two bunches? Like, and these go on top, right? So this bunch is all we want to use for the watering can. You could use the little bunch, but I'm using the big bunch, and we'll only use these 5 tulip heads. These tulips go down to these 2, And I am going to use my, I will use my mini cut and emboss machine for this. But, so, did I tell you all the measurements? I did tell you all the measurements for the last one. All right. So this one here, oh, we got to get the watering can out. I love this watering can. And our Happy Mother's Day. This is great because now we'll have a Mother's Day card. I went and saw my mother today. It was nice to see her. All right, so let's see. Oh my goodness. All right. What else do I need? Oh, I'm going to, now in your kit, I use some white twine. This isn't how it comes anymore. It comes in a package like this. And it comes with a 5th spool of black. So you get white, very vanilla, gray granite, crumb cake, and a spool of black. I've used all the black in here. And I've got, this is how we used to sell it, so I have a ton of this. So I'm just using these up. So you have in your kit, you will have all this cut up. And get rid of the envelope. All right, I have 2 pieces of rectangles because 2 rectangles for my sentiment, just in case. All right, so let's get a few pieces out of the way. I like to get things pasted down if I can right away. That way, it's less for me to worry about trying to find. Oh, I got some adhesive on that. So I'm going to put this down flat. This is another piece of paper from that really pretty. I think it's called Hello Friend. All right, just like that. All right, so that's all done. Now, that's 4 by 5 1/4. Now we have a piece, so this is our inside, so this is also 4 by 5 1/4. I think I am going to just do those same, I'm going to do those same flowers, but now this time they'll be in Flirty Flamingo because that's what my tulips are in. So these inside, these daisies are going to be in it. I wanted to make sure I was, you don't want to stamp it going the wrong direction. All right, so that's Flirty Flamingo. All right, so that's the inside, so I'm going to put that on the inside. Just like this. All right. Okay, so let's stamp our, you're going to have a piece of scrap, a square of scrap, right? And I'm going to put this underneath again, my silicone mat, so you can see. I am going to stamp this kind of curved set of tulips, even though we're only going to use some of them, but I'm going to put those on here. And this is a scrap piece that will be in your kit. So now you could go around and cut these out. Now, if you are cutting them out yourself, you only need these 5. But I would go kind of, you can cut them out separate if you want. You can cut these 2 and these 3. I am going to use my mini cut and emboss machine because I can. I have it and I might as well, it's right here. I might as well show you in case some of you don't know what this whole thing is. It's a mini cut and emboss machine. I love it because it comes with all the plates. And you see, let me grab the other plates. So you get, of course, you get the directions, which the directions really aren't directions. They're just explaining what you get. So you get your, and everything's numbered. So you get your number 1 base. Then you get 2 number 2s, right? And then you get a number 3, which is for your embossing folders. And then you get a number 4, which is for your 3D embossing folders. It doesn't come with that 3D there. It says it right here. It says using with 3D embossing folders. I just did that so it stands out to me. But for this we're cutting, so we only need 2 number 2s and a number 1. All right, and so I'm going to put my number 1, and I like to keep 1 number 2. That sounds so funny, number 2. I'm sorry, it's late. I'm going to put a number 2 down, and I like to keep the same one for cutting. These 2 are practically brand new. but I like to try to keep, when it starts to get worn, then I'll swap it, and I'll take my top one that's maybe has a few marks in it, and I'll use that as a, I'll swap them out. I'll buy a new set. So I'm going to take this. This is the die that goes with these tulips. You probably are thinking, what the heck did she just say about swapping things out? But see how, let me show you my old one. See how this is? This is my old one. So if I had this, and let's say this was my top one, and I bought another set, right, a new pair, I would use this as my bottom one, and I'd take one of the brand new ones and use it as my top. That way I'm swapping them out. I don't replace them both at the same time because I don't always need to. So this one has cut marks in it, so I'm going to keep that as my base. And I'm going to put these little tulips on here, and I have a little bit of this purple tape. You could use washi tape, and you could put it on your hand. Oh, I'm out of the image area. Sorry. You could put it on your hand just to get a little of this, some of the stickiness gone. And you're just going to line it up as best as you can. You can always give it a little haircut if we need. And then these are going to go in. Trying to get it in the same image, right? And we're just going to just crank away. Dee, 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 dee. I always think of that little monkey. Is it a monkey and a Jack-in-the-Box? And then what I like about this, it's just folds up nicely. And just put it aside. All right. So, but you could have easily done these by hand. Okay, I'm going to leave the purple tape on that so I can tape it down so I don't lose it. All right. There we have our tulips. Now, we do not need these two tulips, so I'm going to give this a haircut, and I'm going to cut. Do I need these? Wait, am I thinking of the wrong one? Yeah, no, we just need these. We only need the 5 to the right. So I'm going to cut these 2 off. And then, all right, so those 2, you can save them for another card if you want. But I'm also going to go in, and I'm going to try to trim off this bottom edge of white, because I want to put it right up against the greenery, and I don't like that white line showing on this one, so I'm just going to cut kind of along the bottom edge, but I'll leave the top the way it was. Okay, you don't have to do this, I just wanted to. So all right, so I cut off all the white on the bottom. All right, so let's get back to stamping. All right, we have that all cut. Now we get to stamp. I got to put this silicone mat here so we can see our paper. So this piece that you're going to stamp your watering can on, we're going to build our little flower watering can with flowers in it. It is 3 by 4. All right, and then we have a piece of Granny Apple Green, but this, usually I go up a 1/4 inch so that we have an 1/8 inch border, but I wanted a tiny border on this, so this is only going up 1/8 of an inch. So this is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. All right. All right, so we're going to stamp our watering can with this smoky slate. Ink it up good. Let me see. I'll ink it here in the image. Then I'll put the ink pad, and I'm going to put this close to the bottom. Look how, see how close it is to the bottom. And I'm going to put this within the image. Oh, I got to stand up for this one. And because you want to make sure your handle and your what do you call that? The spout, I guess, are in it. Press it down. I like to hold it for a sec just so that all the ink kind of seeps onto the paper. Oh, I love this. Doesn't it look cool? I love the way this stamp set shades everything for you. But I went and did, I think you can see it on this one pretty much. I went and put the Wink of Stella on the watering can and on the flowers. All right, so now we need to put the green. All right, let me get rid of this. And I'm going to take the Granny Apple Green out again. Now, this is the thing. We do not want all of those. Oh, let me spritz my scrubber again. It's a little dry. We don't want all those leaves and stems. All right, so I am going to wash it really good and make sure, I'm going to stamp it Make sure it's got nothing on it. All we want is this right set of stems. Now, there are two things you can do. You could take a Stampin' Right marker, the Granny Apple Green Stampin' Right marker, and just color. I said the right bunch, so when we turn it upside down, it's going to be the left bunch. And you could color that. Or if you have a steady hand, right, you can try to, and I'm going to hold this up. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I'm going to try to use the edge of my ink pad and go right in here. Let me see if I put my nail right along there. That's where I'm going to try to get, right in between the two flowers. All right. So, no, I'm not going to hold it up in the air because I won't be able to do it. So I'm going to just ink it up. See how I did that? Just on the very edge. And then hold it up, and yep, I didn't get any on that. All right, so that's just the bunch to the right. And then I'm going to put it right on our watering can. Just like that. And hopefully I don't have any shadows, but that's okay. If we do have a little bit of shadow, that's okay. Voila! Isn't that cool? So now if you had, I'll show you a different, now that I have that done. Let me grab my bubblegum marker. Let me show you. I'm going to clean this off and do it from scratch. So just to show you, if you were using your marker, so this is my Granny Apple Green, and you can do this with any of your Stampin' Right markers. These aren't the alcohol ones, so don't use your alcohol ones on your stamps. But you can, it might be hard for you to see this. I wonder if it is better. Is it better on the dark? Maybe not. So you could just take your marker and just go on this side. And we're just using, this way you can use any of the colors you have in your markers. Right? And just ink it up, and I'm not going as way over there, right? So I'm leaving that bunch alone. Just do that with your markers, right? So I just inked up. I hope you can see that. Right? I'll put it down. And oops, it's a little dotted. But that's one way of doing it with your marker. Pretty cool, right? All right. Done. Let me put this away. Okay. Now, back to this. Let me put this back here just so you can see. I think it's easier for you to see things when it's dark. Now, see our flowers here? These are going to go on the ends, but I don't want to put them, I want them raised. But see how they're raised? They're kind of at an angle. So what I did was I took some of our mini dimensionals and our glue dots. And the glue dots are here. So what I did is I took and I put a glue dot at the base. Oh, I got a glue dot on me? No, felt something sticky. I put a glue dot at the bottom. See, there's the glue dot. I'm going to put it at the bottom of these flowers. See, like that? So I'll do a few of those, and then I'll turn it upside down. I'm doing it right at the base of the flower. Just be careful you don't rip your piece. Sometimes the glue dots come off easily. Sometimes they just like to be a pain. These are being a pain. They don't want to come off tonight, which is strange. And then one last one. All right. So when I, oof, that is very strange. All right. So let me do it like this so you can see. See the glue dots? They're on the base of the flower. Then I'm going to take these little teeny mini dimensionals and put them on the top part. All right, I think I do better with my fingers, but just like that. You don't want them to, you don't want, these glue dots are really sticky tonight. You don't want the dimensional to be seen, so just do it. It can hit the glue dot. You don't have to worry about hitting the glue dot. But see? So now, I don't know if you can see that. I'll hold it up here for a second so you can see. So I put glue dots on the bottom and dimensionals on the top. I'll take all these little pieces off, all the backing. This is a way, we did this on, do you remember the ladybug card when we put the wings on? We did on the ladybug wings. So now when I put these on the stems, oops, let me make sure I get them where they're supposed to go. There we go. When I put them on the stem, I'm going to push down on the bottom here. Oops, that glue dot's sticking out. And push down. So now it's at an angle. Isn't that cool? Do you see that? So it's kind of like they're at an angle. I think it's really a cool way of giving them dimension, but it looks like they're coming out of the stem. That's what we did with the ladybug. We put the wings on her wings. We put the part that would be around her neck, we put a glue dot. I'm not sure if you remember that card, if you happen to catch that video. All right, so now this can go onto the green that is only an 1/8 inch bigger. So be careful when you're putting this down. See how it's not going to have that really 1/8 of an inch. It's really going to just have a 1/16 of an inch around the edge. I'm going to turn this over so there's less stuff to look at, just like that, right? Now, oh, we never stamped Happy Mother's Day. I got to stamp Happy Mother's Day. And line this up. Oh, I didn't like that. It's straight, but it didn't come out as dark as I wanted. The memento pads are felt, so you have to press a little harder than... Uh-oh. I kind of tapped it by accident. Let's see. Oops. That came out good. All right. Okie dokie. Where's the lid? All right, let's cover that up so I don't get anything in there. Okay, so now the little green... Uh-oh. Huh. Did I not cut the green? Oh, no, here it is. Here it is. I thought maybe I didn't. I thought I cut everything. So this is the lighter side. This is going to go, and again, this is only a 1/16 all the way around. It's just a hair bigger. Sometimes you get the edge from your cutter, so I just press it with my bone folder. All right, now this is going to go right up here like this. So only part of it is going to go on this base. So I'm just going to do a strip of adhesive, and then I'm going to lay this on top and center it. I'm going to have to hold it up to myself. Pardon me for a second. Just like that, okay? And now we want to tie, so I've given you, I think I gave you, what, 20 inch? Let me see, let me measure it. I have a ruler at the end of my table. Yep, it's about 20 inches. So what I did, sometimes I give you short pieces to wrap around and tack in the back, and then you don't have to tie a bow. But this time I actually gave you the long piece. So I wrap it around twice, and I'm going to tie the bow off to the side. I'm going to first do a knot. I don't, oh, you know what I like to do too? Is before I do the knot, I like to slip one end underneath the second piece when I do it, when I run it around twice. That way I'm tying the knot with the two of them together. All right, see how I did that? I hope you can see that. So I'm going to tie this. Oops. I hate tying bows and knots on camera. It just seems like it just doesn't want to do it. Okay, there. And now I can tie the bow. Sometimes I would, oh, I forgot, know what I wanted to do? Well, I can do it afterwards. I was going to paint this with the Wink of Stella, but I can do that afterwards. Still slide the twine up a bit. So I'm going to tie this little bow. So like I said, these kits, uh-oh, I lost my loop. I got to concentrate. Hang on, guys, I can't talk at the same time. Okay, there's my little loop. Here's my little bow. Twine has a habit of kind of twisting, so just kind of play with it a little. And sometimes, if you need to, you can put a block on it till it behaves. Okay, How are we doing for time? Oh, it's 8:15 already. All right. So now this whole thing is going to go up on dimensionals. I'm going to turn it upside down. And I'm going to put the dimensionals on the back. But this is our third card, so we're doing pretty good. All right. Put these here and here. Where's my tool? Take your pick tools right here. And like I said, I forgot to put the Wink of Stella on. I'm going to do that once I get it on my card base because you want to let it dry. Okay. Oh, I forgot the top. Durr. And I do like to kind of put one over it when a seam hits because that way it helps hold it together. All right, take those off. And that is going to be centered right on the card front. Do we do the inside? Yep. And this is just going to be centered right like that. Nice, right? I like that. Now, for embellishments, I had this pack of, I had 2 packs actually, of these frosted and clear epoxy droplets. We don't have these anymore, but we have clear and silver epoxy drops. So that's what you should use if you have them, or use whatever you have. I like these frosted ones, so I'm going to put the smaller of them, just a few around. Actually, I think I want to put one on the can, but I'm going to put, well, I'll put it right here, right? Yeah, I had this on the other one. I have it down the ground, but I think I'll just leave it there. Now, I want to do the Wink of Stella. So I'm going to take out my scrap piece in case I need it. And I'm going to, I don't think I need it. Maybe I have to squeeze a little bit more, get some more coming out. You don't want too much at a time coming out. So I did, and this isn't too bad because it's silver glittery. And I'm going to have to lift up the string. I meant to do it before, but it's just as well because we want it to dry. And I think it works great on this can because the can is metal. So we'll make it nice and like a shiny metal can. And I also, let me do a little bit more over here. Oops. Let me just get a napkin. I've got a little bit of a pool, so I want to blot that off. Okay, now I also want to put it on the, I'm not going to do the leaves and the stems, I'm just doing the tulips and the watering can. And then card number 3 is done. Nice, right? All right. So now make sure when you see how the watering can, oh, you know what? I just noticed that I missed a spot right under where the string is. Okay. But see how cool that looks? All right, so these 2 are going to go off to the side. Okay, our last card. This is our last one that we're going to do. All right, this is the last one. So let me see. Let's see what we're going to do. Let me get rid of these. Okay. So I'm using the, this is the black and white check ribbon, but I've given you some in your kit. But if you are if you're not buying if you're not shopping with me and getting your free kit. Hi Margaret, how are you? Oh, thank you. Glad you like them. All right, so we need our flowers again. And we're going to need the little flower pot, right? And I used this, what did I use for this color? Oh, I used Cajun Craze. I forgot to grab it. And the Cajun Craze, anything that has red pigment in it, red ink, like this, like a red dye, it stains your stamps, but it doesn't affect the stamp, so don't worry about it. Sometimes it works out good because it actually shows you, you can see the stamp better. All right, so this is a card base of Thick Whisper White. All right, so you'll be getting everything that you see. You'll be getting the Thick Whisper White. Then this mat is, this is from the Party Pattern paper. One side's brights and the other side are black and white. So this is just a little dot. I just needed something in the background. I didn't want it just plain white. I didn't want the plain thick not whisper white, basic white. I didn't want the thick white showing. So I needed something. I tried putting a spackle, but then I decided to use DSP. I thought it was easier, and it went really fast. Okay, so now you have a this long piece. This is a scrap for doing your stamping, so that we can cut them out. So you can either cut these by hand. So you need your flower pot in Cajun Craze, and then we're going to do the daisies in yellow and the daffodil again. All right. I'm trying to decide if I want to use my mini machine. I think I'll use the mini machine because it just goes so fast. So, but you saw me cut out the flowers by hand, so you can easily do it by hand if you don't have the machine. But I am going to go ahead and do the machine. So I'm going to grab that and the flower die. Might as well, I have them, and I'm going to put, while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to put this one back in here so I don't lose it. I haven't, usually I put these all on magnet plates, but I haven't had a chance yet. Okay, so that's what you get. You get the thing to cut out the watering can, to cut out the boots, to cut out the tulips like we did. This makes a nice, like a lattice. You get this little, it's like a 3-prong rake, little hand rake. And this is to cut out, I couldn't figure out what this was, and then I realized it must be like a seed packet. That's all I could think of. And then the leaves and the stems. All right, so those are the dies. So yeah, we're going to use the mini again. I'm going to take these, and I'm going to use this purple tape again, and I'm going to put this around the edge. If you don't have the dies, these shapes are fairly simple. Like, I wouldn't want to have to cut out the watering can by hand, but like this pot is really simple. You could cut that by hand easily. All right. Here are my plates. A 1, a 2, and another 2. All right. And these you just got to feed in nice and straight. You got to get the ends in. If you don't have the end hitting like flush with each other, it doesn't seem to go through. And that cracking, that's fine. First time I ever used a cut and emboss machine, or actually back then it was the Big Shot, I heard the cracking and I thought I broke something. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to just, for now, stick it right in here so I don't lose them. Hang on. All right. Sorry, my elbow hit something. All right, so put that aside, put my plates away. See how quick and easy that is when you leave it out? Now, the only thing is I didn't line it up very good, so I'm just going to have to give it a little haircut on this right side. That's all, just like that. And the flowers, they look okay, but again, I'm just going to cut off too much white in one spot. All right. Okay. Now let's build this thing. So what I did was I took the flowers, and I did very similar thing, whereas I put glue dots on the base. Glue dots. Just like this. I'm not trying to make it, I'm not doing it for any reason other than connecting it to the flower pot. You could use a little bit of adhesive if you want. Boy, these glue dots, I feel like they're, let's see if and then this is just going to go right on here. It's just our way of attaching it. So then we have our little pot. Okay. And, oh, we have to stamp our we have to stamp our, I don't even know if I didn't do anything. So I left this one blank, which is fine. All right. We have to stamp this. Let me pull this back out. I really don't need this now that I think of it, because this is the, oh no, it is photopolymer. I was thinking I was using one from the other one. I didn't need to use it when I had the red rubber ones, but this is photopolymer. And I can't really see how it'd be hard to kind of see the outside of the circle because it's white on white. That's why I like putting my silicone mat down. And this is I believe this is a 1.5 inch circle. I will measure it in 1 second for you, just so that, I mean, you're going to get it in your kit, but in case you're making this with your own product, yep, 1.5 inch circle. All right, so we can get rid of this now. All right, so first things first, this is, I think this is called the Heart and Home paper. I like the wood side. And this is 3 by 4. So I'm going to adhere this to a piece of Daffodil that is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So it's up a 1/4 inch, because then the border makes a 1/8 inch all around the edge. Okay, now we want to tie our ribbon. I think I gave you like 22 inches or 24. Yeah, about 22 inches in your kit, in your make and take kit. All right, so you're going to tie it around. Sometimes I do a fake one where I put just a piece like this and I put a tab and I tack it down in the back, right? But I gave you a long piece in your kits because I don't know, I was in the mood to tie a bow. And I gave you plenty. You don't really need, make sure it's flat. Oops, see, it was twisted in the back. And I'm just going to tie a bow. I'm going to have some more. Oops, pull it this way, Donna. Tie a bow. I'm not going to make a knot. I'm going to go right to a bow on this one. Because sometimes when you make a knot when it's ribbon, it ends up being too bulky in my But if you need to make a knot first to get it on there, go ahead and do so. Ooh, squeeze that through. Hey, that didn't come out too bad. Oops, I almost ruined it. So I'm going to pull it tight, and then I kind of pull these ends so that I can see whether oops. Alright, so we have our bow. I know I'm going to trim it later, but I'll just take off extra right now. And that's going to be all the way to the right. And then this is going to go up on dimensionals. That ribbon was centered. I do have dimensionals. This is our last card. So these kits will be shipped out, like I said. I will wait till everybody's orders come in. You don't have to buy the buy the set. You just have to spend the $35 to get it for free. You don't have to buy what I used. You can buy whatever you want. It's just a free gift for shopping with me. And like I said, if you spend, so you have to spend $35 in product, that's before tax and shipping. And then if your order's $50 or more, I will include a pack of these new Rhinestone Waves Basic Jewels. They're so pretty, from blues and greens. And if your order is $150 or more, do not use the code, because you have to use that code so I know that you want the kit. Because I just go in and I pull up that code and I see everybody that placed the order, and that's who gets these kits. So they'll probably be going out, I'd say probably like a few days after the 31st. Alright, so now we need dimensionals on these two things. And I'm going to put a dimensional right in between, on the bottom, and then on the two sides. A little bit of overkill, but that's okay. And then I'll put 3 on this one. And we are almost done. Oops. All right, so let me put this round one first, because this is going to go right up against the bow. Right, just like that. Make sure. I don't want the bow to, I might make that loop a little smaller. And then make the other one so they match. All right. And then the flower pot is just going to go to the side. Look how cute. I love this. Actually, I think I'm going to make my bow. I untied it. I'm going to go a little bit further to the right so it doesn't go up against the circle too much. I don't want to block my sentiment. Okay. There we go. All right. I think my first one came out better. That's okay. It's okay. It's in a better spot. This one's a little bit narrower though. All right. Okay. All right. Let me trim it. Trim. Okay. It's not in the way of the center. Okay. So now, what I used, I put a few little black. These are our classic matte dots, and they have white, vanilla, gray, and black. And I'm just using the black, tiny black ones. I don't know, I just wanted something. I had tried putting one on each of the daisy centers, but it just was too much. And then I tried putting it on 3 of them, and I didn't like the way it looked, so I left those like that. And then I took our Wink of Stella, and I just did the centers of these with the Wink of Stella, just to add something to the flowers. And that's it. All right, that is it. Let me just move some stuff around and I'll pull out all the cards again. So glad that you joined me. If you're watching this live on Facebook, thanks for joining. If you're watching the replay, whether it's here on Facebook or on YouTube, please leave a comment. If you let me know if you like the video. If you do like it, please give me a thumbs up. That really helps me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, donnascreativespace.com. Oh, I just love these cards. All right, so I think I'll just put one of everything out. I don't need to have 2 of everything. So I just want to make sure they're all dry. So there is our, I don't want purple next to purple. Let's do this. And then this one. And then this one, then this one. Okay, folks, that is it. That is the virtual card class for March. If you are interested in getting the kit, you will get a kit just like this. You'll get the 4 card kits to make these 4 cards for free if you place an order for $35 or more before tax and shipping. So springy and cheerful. Yeah, it is. They are pretty. And of course, you don't have to put Happy Mother's Day. You can put whatever sentiments. If you have all this stuff, you can get my card kits and just make whatever you want with whatever sentiments. But you will get the card kits for free with a $35 or more order. Spend $50 or more and you'll get the rhinestones. We use these rhinestones. Where did I use? Oh, I didn't use these on these. But these are brand new and I love them. They're so pretty. Alright guys, that's it for tonight. So have a great night and I will see you next time. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. Go to donnascreativespace.com and there's a purple button in the top right that you can click on and add your newsletter, and you can get news from me so that you know when I'm doing classes and such. Alright ladies, take care. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Bye guys.